shit started to go when I started to analyze WikiLeaks documents. They're like, oh shit, we gotta calm this guy down a little bit.
Oh yeah, I know the feeling.
Here we go. All right, hi my people. If anybody actually comes on, I haven't been on in forever, so nobody. There might be people not showing up, but yeah.
I got a random question for you. Remember back when you were a kid and they used to ask you, like, when in school, they'd be like, what do you want to be when you grow up? What did you want to be?
I had absolutely no fucking clue. I wanted, I wanted to not be the least popular kid in class. That's probably, yeah.
It progressed to that point.
Yeah.
I remember like the very first thing I said, I got my ass whooped for, because like I had an uncle that was like, I like really admired my uncle. I thought he was a man. I thought that my daddy was, I thought he was just like boo boo.
Yeah.
I remember I would say I wanted to be I took a line from Snoop Dogg. I got my ass tore up from that one. But then for a while I real life wanted to be like a pilot in the Air Force. I remember being a little kid and wanting to be a pilot so bad. And it's just, I don't know, like I was thinking about that. It is amazing because now here later in life, in an abstract way, I am like making that happen. I used to want to fly. Like I used to think about flying and stuff like that.
Right.
And as a kid, I thought about flying in a jet. I thought that shit was cool as shit.
Well, there were three things now that I think about it. One was being a politician, which I thought was fucking hilarious at this point. The second is a teacher, and the third one, my stepdad, and actually kind of a union rep too, because my dad was a union rep, but my stepdad managed an adult bookstore, so called, and the motherfucker's still there, called Thriller Adult Video, and he asked me to help him as a teenager. I asked him to help him name the fucking thing. So I'm like, and he also, my stepdad was cool. He also managed a arcade, and I got a couple of arcade game or video games to put in my frat house. But it's like how cool is your stepdad when he fucking is an adult bookstore owner and a video arcade manager at the same goddamn time?
Oh, your stepdad was a shit. He was a shit.
It's like, hey, you want a pinball game? How about some porn? Like,
yeah.
All right. Well, you know.
Oh my.
He won the liquor store. He didn't do a liquor store, but he was on. He was a big bear looking fuck, and they interviewed him a couple of times. Spot peddler, blah blah blah. So it's like free speech, all right.
Hell yeah.
But, yeah, I would say, I would probably say kind of an activist-y kind of thing. And then, when I was a real young kid, I wanted to be an explorer, which is basically, just a fucking hobo.
No, when I originally asked that question, I really didn't have a reason for asking it. And just as my thoughts came together, I realized that was a lead-in question for me. The reason that I asked that and I brought that up is because it was to make a point. Like when we do things, like what was our original intention for it? So I see out here we see so many veterans, that are on both sides of the fence. And I guess, like somebody recently asked me that, and I just kind of never really answered it because I didn't know how to answer it. I got a brother who served in the service. I didn't know how to answer that. And now I know how to answer it. I know how to answer it.
It's kind It's kind of like Jules. It's kind of like Jules from fucking Pulp Fiction. I just wanted to roam the earth.
Yeah, be like, my question is for all of the service members out there. I mean, like, for everything that y'all, I mean, that every one of them experienced, and even the things that, I mean, they question themselves about. I just keep coming back to a quote, and I don't even remember who exactly said it, but there's a difference. There's a line when what is considered legal isn't moral, and what's actually moral isn't legal.
Right.
How many of y'all signed up, I mean, because y'all felt like y'all were upholding morals? And I guess that's kind of just, it's kind of something I don't even want an exact answer to. I want the people to chew on that one. Yeah. For all of it, because something I've noticed is, I mean, another way that, I mean, they're so good at keeping us divided. Another class that they've created is their flunkies and the general public. I see it all the time here. Even myself, I mean, from the street lifestyle I lived, I don't really trust and fuck with the police and law enforcement. I'll be honest, I don't fuck with law enforcement. But in the same token, I've gotten the capacity and blessed with the ability to comprehend and conceive that they're merely doing their job. It is their job to blindly enforce these laws that are put on us. We don't like it. Man, beefing with them ain't gonna get us nowhere. They're the pawns. Fighting the pawns ain't gonna get us nowhere. The pawns are gonna be what's used to bash us down. So my beef ain't with, I mean, like, I see people bashing service members. I'm not gonna bash people for wanting to, I mean, protect like where they come from. That's shitty. I mean, and it's counterproductive because most of these service people and most people that honestly go into law enforcement, I mean, like, I've got a family member that we don't associate, I mean, because that person chose to go into law enforcement, and I hold no ill will towards them. I love them to death. I mean, like, and I got their back 100%. I mean, because I know that person went into it because of our upbringing and, I mean, the past we had, and they wanted to make a difference in this world. But just because, I mean, there's organizations that are supposed to be making a difference that are used to subjugate us, don't mean that we need to take the war to the people, I mean, that they're right. Using against us.
Well, I have three people in my family are police officers. One shot his toe off with a fucking shotgun while he was trying to clean it, and he was a moron. Another one was, is racist, and I know it. But the thing is, he has a reason. He was chasing somebody in New York City, and the guy turned around and clubbed him in the back of the neck with a fucking crowbar. So it's like, and God knows how much he saw in New York City. So that gets into your head. Another is my nephew, he's a good kid and he's trying to do the right thing. So just because you're a cop doesn't mean you're a bad guy, but just because you're a cop doesn't mean that you're right either.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I really believe in accountability. Accountability goes a long way. Like, okay, like I said, I've got a street background. As somebody who has sold illegal substances before, I've engaged with, multiple law enforcement officers in various settings. Like, when I worked at a Red Lobster, we would have off-duty police officers there as security. So, like, I would actually engage them in conversation. Like, I'm here working. I'm not doing nothing. And I've made this point, to police officers, and it made me kind of start seeing a bigger picture. There's a war on drugs, but the drugs that there's a war on, they can't be grown on this continent. You can't grow cocaine or heroin on the soil of North America. You can't grow it. So it has to be brought in here. So really, there's not a war on drugs. What it is a rigged game, and am I going to keep being dumb enough to play that game?
I'm going to be ironic now. I'm going to take my meds.
Hey, YOLO, I mean, I'm not one of them people that's total prude or nothing like that. I believe at the end of the day, everybody got vices. Some are destructive, some are not. None of us are nobody to judge nobody. If we really want to, I mean, like point a finger at the problems that the things cause, then we need to look in the mirror and look at ourselves and ask where's the accountability. For real, for real. Being all the way honest, where's the accountability?
My thing is, who decides which drugs are good and which drugs are bad?
Exactly. I mean, what is good and evil but two polar opposites?
Right.
Like, I guess the best on the fly example I can come up with is look at what a Muslim under Sharia law, I mean, would find acceptable about a cheating spouse or something like that. Like, look how Sharia law views dealing with a spouse that was caught, I mean, being adulterous, and look at how our American system looks at it, our society looks at it. We look at how they deal with stuff like that, or like the Islamic cultures, I mean, that be like, oh, if a woman gets raped, she needs to die. To us, that is evil. To them, that is good. It's the law.
Well,
and I'm not condoning it. Yeah. I'm not condoning it one bit. What I'm doing is illustrating, though, you know what I mean? Like at the end of it, you know what I mean? What's good for one is not necessarily going to be good for the next. They may consider it.
I'm not going to say this too loud because Lynn's in the other room, but in some countries they eat cats and they eat dogs. But look at fucking Michael. But look at Michael Vick.
Oh yeah.
It's like, nah. He was. I fucking hate Michael Vick because he followed me around. I went to Virginia Tech, so he followed me around for fucking decades. I'm like, goddamn, will you just fucking retire somewhere? Go fucking, play golf or some shit. I don't want to hear you no more. And every time I wanted to watch a football game, Vic was on, and Lynn's like, turn that shit off. I don't want to buy them. I want to feed him to a dog. I'm like, yes, I despise that shit, and he didn't do the right fucking thing.
Speaking of cats and dogs, I mean, like, I'm not too sure we don't eat it in this country because some of the local Chinese places my way, they suspect. They realize suspect. They suspect as fuck. So
no, it's chicken. It's chicken. It's got a fucking claw in it.
Yeah, like I've had a couple Chinese meals where I'm like, yeah, I don't want this. This is questionable. So
it's got like fur and shit.
Oh man, listen, like it's one of them things that it's a heavy joke here. So like here, like when the subject of Chinese comes up, you can automatically expect to hear somebody throw in a pun about cat and dogs. Hey, that's just how we are here in Toledo. We view the Chinese food as cat and dog food. Oh. Snickle Fritz. What is your YouTube channel? I don't even know if I'm subscribed to it.
Independent Outsider.
All right. Let's start about that.
Well, I was at 200. I'm like bouncing back and forth between 198 and 202. So I'm not really, I'm not like, oh my God, I lost a subscriber today. I'm very upset.
I just brought you up to 199.
Okay. I'll be back to 200 and then I'll go down to 196 and then it's like whatever. I'd like to build it up, but we'll see. I stopped for a while. I actually did a few political interviews, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I mean, why am I doing this? In the middle of my last political interview, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Why am I doing this?
It's funny because when I first started out, like, I used to think about it and I used to be like, I want to get to the day where I can do a political interview. And now, hell no, I don't want to do no political interview. I'm not about to sit around and waste my time and my energy even trying to entertain that shit, because that shit, politics is ignorant. Like, you hear so much ignorance and bigotry and double talk. It's like, are you really listening to the words you're saying right now? Are you really hearing this shit? Because
there are a couple of people that I would actually want to interview, but it's not really about their, about their political about their political race or their
Oh
candidacy
yeah,
or
it's
whatever.
them as a person.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. My cat is
Oh shit, everybody got animals. Ugh, I'm gonna end up having to get a dog because she ain't gonna leave me alone until we get a dog, huh, babe?
like, oh God, I was outside. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, the problem with candidates typically is either they have good ideas, but they have no support because they're actually fighting for the people, and they don't have that that infrastructure of the scumbags, or they're they they're doing it for the wrong reasons, and they're talking out of both sides of their mouth. So there are some people out there that really want to change, but they don't have any support because they're banging their heads against the wall.
Oh yeah. Oh no, real quick.
So we need to stop this dependence on political leaders. We really do.
Most definitely.
Oh yeah, but we can do it locally. Hell, some of these local politicians are corrupt motherfuckers too. That you can't get that you can't really get to. So let's see.
You know what's an awesome feeling? It's like, all right, me personally, one thing I seem to be real good at is being like, I mean, like a peacemaker and like smoothing stuff out, or I mean, like being a neutral party. When I run into somebody that like, I mean, is like on the outside of like a group, you know what I mean? And it's like they've gotten to a point where like they, you know what I mean, like there's friction, and I'm able, you know what I mean, like to show like, hey, that person ain't so bad. Like this person's actually cool as shit. Like I don't know, it's dope. Like showing like, hey, not all people even, you know what I mean, some of us make mistakes, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
lighten up some.
This bonding moment brought to you by Mountain Dew. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, thank you, Harsh. Hold on real quick.
Yeah, if you want to give Tony the link, that's cool. Whatever. But yeah, Red Stevie King was going to be on, but she wasn't up for it.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah,
that's part of why
working
I
in a
said,
fast food joint will do that to you.
oh yeah, listen, I got I had started out like for the longest, I mean, because of all the trouble I got into. Hold on real quick. Replying to something real quick.
Yeah.
But like I started out working at a Sonics joint. I mean, like minimum wage, like a motherfucker. And I kept, I mean, moving up. Like I would work that job and work my ass off at that job, and realize like, all right, I'm not going. I mean, go no. I'm going. I've worked hard enough. I've impressed another job. Let's move to a better job. And I did that for maybe like about 3 years, and just I don't know. I just got to a point where it was like, for me personally, it was like, look, I can just say the hell with this system and the hell with playing into this, and just start working on trying to be self-sufficient and doing this on my own. Fuck working like the last job I had, it paid decent, it had a lot of hours. So financially it was a good job, but it wasn't the job for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not one of these people that just wants to be a cog in the system. So it wasn't the job for me.
Well, that's the other thing. Dependence on. I mean, why the hell do we need little green pieces of paper to to get things? I mean, we can go that route and resource-based economy and all that, but why do we really need money? But then when for my job, I need a certain type of shoe. I need this thing and that thing. I need this.
Yeah, it's everything keeps costing. You know, honestly, I got to a point where I realized, and I was able to digest, that I am a fractal of the creation. In the Old Testament and in the Torah, stuff like that, I mean, when the creator is so-called talking, his exact words is I am. I am that I am. I am. All right, so now watch this one. I was able to connect that and parallel this. The law of conservation of energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It always exists in transverse forms. So energy it exists. Energy is I am. When you go to a hospital, if they check your heart rate, they're measuring electrical signals. They measure your brain waves, they're measuring frequencies. The God that supposedly is the creator exists. His name was, like he was referred to as I am. Yeah, you can put me a small plate. Oh, goddamn, a small bit is a half a pan of brownie. Well, fuck. There's a black. So yeah, we're gonna have to put some of that brownie. Yeah, because I'm not eating all that brownie tonight. Sorry. But no, are you yeah, I think you could. Yeah, me like energy just exists. I am, and that parallel clicked in my mind, and I just couldn't let go of it for the longest. Like I just would like, I would a little bit more. Yeah. I would be at work, and I would be no, that's enough. I would be at work, and I would be doing something, and I would literally get like my brain would just stop working because I would get to thinking about that, and it would just stump me. Like, wait a minute, I am. I'm partially energy. I am. I exist.
Right.
It was just one of them things where it took me a while to process it through, but when I was able to connect that, it was just like, wow. I'm running into a personal claw now. Welcome.
I've been a personal claw for about 6 years.
6 years. Oh, that's one of the reasons you married me. Ain't that about one? I thought it was because you loved me. Oh, you used to. Ain't that about it, bitch? I know. I just like, hey.
How long have you all been married?
We have been married a little bit over 3 years.
Okay.
Almost 4. But we've been together almost 6.
Almost how many?
Almost 6. Goddamn, a small business, a half a pan of brownie. Well, next month will be 6 years we've actually been together. So yeah, we're gonna have to put some of that brownie. Yeah. The person that stuck around, especially through like the worst. The worst. Sometimes I want to strangle her like Homer be strangling Bart. Why you little? But I'm sure she feels the same way.
It kind of feels like it's been over 10 years. So Lynn and I have been together for 23, 24, something like that.
Oh, wait.
Since 92.
Listen, I don't even want to think about that long because I got 3 badass kids from an ex. And I'm talking about my kids are savage.
26 years.
They are savage. So, like, right now, my son will be 10 next month. I've got an 8-year-old daughter, and my youngest is 6 years old. I don't want to think about, like 5 or 10 years down the line. I don't want to think about my daughter being a preteen.
No, you don't.
Listen, daddy fried, and daddy's a felon, so daddy's just gonna do it the easy way, and I'm gonna do it Martin Lawrence style like Bad Boys. And she's got brothers. See, beautifully, my daughter is the middle child. She's got an older brother and a younger brother, and they are both bad as shit and about that action. I am winning. Like, and they love the shit out their sister. They may fight like cats and dogs, but as long as I can keep them close like this, when they get older, I wish one of these little knucklehead dudes would, because my boys is gonna be on their ass, Mr. Postman. And that's actually funny because I forgot about you being the postman when I went to throw it out there. Oh, man, listen, I know it's silly and it's me being silly, but you be like, it's that dad. That's that, I don't know, that's what this or that. As a dad, and especially with the, experiences I've had in life, and what I've seen, having a daughter, oh no, it's a worrisome feeling. Like sometimes I'm just sitting there like, oh God, I don't want to think about this. Oh, I gotta make sure I show her the right way. Like I don't want to see her become another statistic for real. And then there's other aspects which at this exact moment I'm gonna keep my mouth closed on. Sun Tzu said it best. Sun Tzu was a great author. Oh, he taught a lot. But at other time, of time down the line, I will make my opinion known about some things. Maybe a little bit longer, but either way, I do feel something. I am going to say this very strongly. I have absolutely zero respects given. Matter of fact, unknown factor. I